So this week, we're still gliding into our topic of health psychology. What's going on in the US and your state in terms of health? Thinking about health, let's see how the US is doing when it comes to health behaviors. Take the quiz that you don't need to turn in, but it's offered on Blackboard. Check out this. What I've given you is some of the US rates for health behaviors, and I asked you to give an educated guess regarding how health behaviors in your state might compare. Think about why you might make a certain guess about health behaviors in your state being healthier or less healthy than the US as a whole. Listed on this slide are what the Medical News Today of 2017 say are the 10 leading causes of death in the US. These 10 causes account for about 75% of all US deaths. The top 3, heart disease, cancer, and respiratory disease, account for over 50% of all US deaths. And these 10 leading causes have remained relatively consistent over the last 5 years. According to the Alaska Division of Public Health, the leading causes of death in my state, Alaska, are a bit different than those seen in the US as a whole. For example, in Alaska, cancer is the number 1 leading cause of death. Suicide is the 5th leading cause, while it's the 10th in the US. And chronic liver disease is a leading cause of death, as well as homicide is now a leading cause of death. So what's going on? Why would Alaska look different than the US? This and other health-related issues are what we'll be discussing this semester. As we read in our chapter, the leading causes of death in the US have changed across time. While deaths used to be associated with infectious disease, currently morbidity and mortality are more likely to be attributed to chronic diseases or diseases that one might live with and have to manage. These chronic and social diseases have health behavior implications. When we think about chronic illness, we see that just heart disease and cancer account for nearly half of all deaths. To make things more complicated, we're an aging population. As we age, we are susceptible to more and more chronic illnesses. As of 2012, nearly half of adults had 1 or more chronic illness, and 1/4 had 2 or more. Many chronic diseases can be prevented, as we will discuss during class, and hopefully you'll be sharing via your risk factor health fairs. Preventable risk factors strongly associated with chronic illness include diet, physical activity, tobacco, and alcohol. As we will discuss, health behaviors have great impact on how we live and how and when we die. So on Blackboard, I've given you the URL for this site. It allows you to check out causes of death in states and counties of interest to you. Check out the site and see what issues impact places that are associated with you and those you love. So that's the end of my first mini lecture, and I'll see you in a bit.